Hello, my name is Pilar Socorro, and I am Associate Professor and Vice Dean of Economics in the University of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, Spain. It is a pleasure to participate in the third International Congress on Desert Economy. I will make a short presentation on the relationship between transport and tourism. Transport infrastructures are key elements that foster or limits the economic development of a region, including its tourism industry. Transport is essential for tourism because it facilitates the movement of tourists from their place of origin and their destinations, and acts as the means of movement within a destination, allowing larger amounts of people, tourists, to visit places that are hard to reach or that are known for most people. Although all transport services are important for regional development and tourism, in this presentation I will just focus on the relevance of air transport. Regarding the relevance of air transport for tourism, we have to highlight that it is estimated that over half of all international tourists travel by air. So the aviation and tourism industries depend on each other for sustainable growth. For tourist-dependent economies, attracting new visitors and subsequently increasing their expenditure at destination have become one of their most important economic policies. Air connectivity is crucial to increase the number of tourists that arrive to a particular region, and governments may be interested in implementing public policies to increase airlift. Such policies should be carefully analyzed from a cost-benefit perspective in order to guarantee that they produce the desirable effects on the tourism market. Several policies have been implemented around the world to increase air connectivity. Some of them are the following. Public service obligations. We can distinguish between open and restricted public service obligations. The open public service obligation establishes a set of conditions such as maximum or reference prices, frequencies, time intervals, and even the type of aircraft, allowing any airline that wants to enter the market to do so. On the other hand, the restricted public service obligation is established on those routes that are not commercially profitable in the sense of public intervention. Routes under public service obligations are usually operated by a single airline that obtains the exclusiveness and quite likely the corresponding economic compensation after a competitive tendering process. Another policy aimed to promote air connectivity are subsidies to promote the startup of new routes. Some peripheral regions implement incentive programs to encourage the startup of new routes to from these regions. This is the case for the United Kingdom, specifically in the Northeast and Northwest and Wales, or the Canary Islands in Spain. In the Canary Islands, the so-called Flight Development Fund is used, an incentive scheme designed to finally support the startup of new regular, direct air routes between Canary Island airports and international airports. The objective of this program is to encourage the development of the air connectivity of the Canary Islands with new tourist-generating markets or currently undeserved regions. The incentive shall serve as support during the startup period, normally 2 consecutive years. The incentive is granted to one airline per route, and the beneficiary is the airline whose application obtains the highest score in the assessment procedure. Some example of new routes that have been subsidized through the Flight Development Fund are Lanzarote-Lyon, Fuerteventura, Paris-Orly, Gran Canaria, Roma-Fiumicino, or Tenerife South, Budapest. Another policy aimed to promote air connectivity consists of granted subsidies to airlines. These policies correspond to the case of state-owned air carriers providing services to remote regions in order to ensure the operation of unprofitable routes. Although this is not a policy that can be applied in countries where privatization and the regulation of airlines have been implemented, such as Europe, we can find some examples in countries like Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, and Malaysia. Finally, another policy to promote air connectivity consists of granted subsidies to airports. This type of policy takes the form of either discounts on airport charges paid by airlines that operate specific routes to remote areas, or direct or cross subsidies to airports located in remote or developing areas. All these policies should be carefully evaluated, taking into account costs and benefits. Regarding costs, we have to mainly focus on the public funds required to increase their connectivity. When we are talking about benefits, we have to look mainly to the increase in tourists that arrive to the region and the direct and indirect impacts that such an increase of tourists produce in the region in terms of change in the producer surplus, change in the worker surplus, etc. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, you can send me an email to this email address. Thank you very much.